games up, we jump into the mission expansion of one of our favorite card games, Port Royale. After we were somewhat disappointed with the co-op mode in the first expansion, Port Royale Just One More Contract, we were pleasantly surprised by the second expansion. Our thoughts on Port Royale, The Adventure Begins, come after a complete playthrough of the 5 missions of the game, with 2 players in co-op mode. With the second expansion, Port Royale is overall similar to the experience of the original base game. At its core, Port Royale is a push-your-luck card game, which we previously rated very favorably. The second expansion is again designed by Alexander Pfister and features artwork from Clemens Franz. Port Royale is set in the time of pirates, who are out and about looting and following the trails of treasures. The second expansion introduces a campaign that takes place over 5 missions, during which you are searching for a missing person, encountering pirates, and meeting several important people along the way. Port Royale, The Adventure Begins, can be played with 1 to 5 players, and one mission takes roughly 30 minutes. It can be played either competitively or cooperatively, and depending on which mode you choose to play, the game and some mission cards will change slightly. And as we mentioned, we played through the game cooperatively, which took roughly 6 hours. The main bulk of the rules are taken over from the base game and don't really change. What is new and what you'll need to learn is how to set up the missions and the mission deck. These rules are in principle easy once you figure them out from the confusingly written rulebook. It did take us quite some time, especially for such a small game, to get everything in order and to set it up the way it's supposed to be set up. We even forgot to play with one rule, making the game accidentally easier during our first 2 missions. But once you make it through the rules, and before you start the game, each player receives a character card, where each character has a special little ability that can be used throughout the game after you unlock it. Once everything is set up, the game starts with reading a small story snippet to get you into the setting of the game and the current mission, and then normally a quest is revealed for that particular mission. The objectives of our quest are normally fulfilled by paying a certain amount of money, normally quite a lot that you have to accumulate, or special resources, having certain characters from the deck in your player tableau, or by defeating pirate ships. At the beginning of each turn of the game, a round marker card is revealed, which normally gives you some special bonus for that turn. These round marker cards also serve as a timer or clock for the mission, because the missions are timed. After an increasing number of rounds over the course of the game, certain story events are triggered. Depending on how successful you were in fulfilling certain objectives of the quest, the story can advance slightly differently from game to game. So depending on your progress and success, the story will evolve in somewhat different directions. And we thought all of these mechanics worked really well together, and each game feels well balanced. It definitely never feels too easy to fulfill all of the objectives of the quest. And on top of that, there is a satisfaction to fulfilling objectives and then a main mission because you get more and more pieces of the story revealed as you progress through the campaign. The story might not be the most innovative that you've ever seen in a game, but it is enjoyable and it does help bring you into the world that is created of thieving pirates in the Caribbean and admirals and generals and sailors. If you watched our playthrough of Port Royale with the first expansion, Just One More Contract, you might remember that we didn't enjoy the cooperative mode of that first expansion because it felt like you were often just searching the deck or waiting for specific cards to show up and then to buy, for example swords, and then you didn't do much else. In the second expansion, searching for one specific card will still be required sometimes, and might decide the outcome of a mission, which can be annoying, definitely. But fulfilling the quest is not everything that you have to do to be victorious in a mission. You also need a specific amount of victory points at the end of a mission, and in a 2-player game, it's 20 points in total between the 2 players. And that is exactly what keeps the flow of the game similar to the base game. You're not only fulfilling specific objectives for the mission quest, but you also still have to reach a significant amount of victory points as a team by the end of the mission. And these 2 aspects or aims together make the game interesting and challenging and multidimensional. So definitely 2 thumbs up for making victory points still a necessary condition for successfully completing a mission of the game. Other than a few little blips, the rulebook, which is not clear for a relatively simple game, and the times where you rely on a luck-dependent draw for one specific card for an objective of the mission, for us this expansion was really excellent. It brought new life to a card game that we really enjoy. And even if you lose a mission, all players receive a 3 gold starting bonus, and then you repeat the mission, now with maybe some new or updated plans. And there are some tough missions in there. For us, the hardest fight was definitely the last mission, but our eventual victory felt even sweeter when we successfully completed the campaign in the very last move possible. It was a close one, but it felt so satisfying. We highly recommend the Port Royale campaign expansion, The Adventure Begins, to all of you who like the push your luck game Port Royale. Port Royale at its core doesn't change here very much, so if you don't like the base game, then you most likely still will not enjoy this expansion. But for people who do enjoy Port Royale, you will hopefully have the same fantastic time that we had with this fresh take on a really great card game.
Thank you for watching Games Up. See you next time.